On Tuesday, the Hatboro-Horsham boys golf team hosted Quakertown in Talamore Country Club and Ambler, so let's get into the highlights. We start off our day with a deep drive by senior Kenny Lutz, who splits the fairway on hole 1. His second shot sails through the air and lands softly on the green, less than 5 yards or so from the hole. Next, Lutz's partner, senior Shane Mills, uses his third stroke to set himself up nicely for a short putt. Lutz's attempt for birdie veers to the right, meaning he moves up to the next hole on par. Mills is able to convert his putt, but he leaves the hole on par as well. Fast forwarding to Mills' third stroke on hole 2, his high arcing shot onto the green has a bit too much behind it as it bounces and rolls onto the rough. His attempt to right the wrong is just a bit of a familiar story as the ball rolls just past the hole on his fourth stroke. Lutz, who takes his third stroke from the rough after losing his ball out of bounds, is able to land on the green about 5 yards from the hole. Mills is able to sink his putt, but still finishes up the hole with a bogey. Lutz is almost able to shake off that stroke penalty with a tough putt, but he is forced to settle with a double bogey. Moving on to the third hole now, Mills sends this impressive tee shot bouncing down the fairway. Here we find Lutz attempting to get himself out of a tight spot, and although he lands in the rough across the fairway, he's opened up the angle to aim for the green with his next shot. And hit the green he does, although the ball ends up on the rough just behind the hole. Mills, attempting to make the most out of his tee shot, chips his second shot onto the green, albeit still pretty far from the cup. Lutz's fourth shot sets him up nicely to finish one stroke over par. While Mills' long putt for birdie is not to be, it's leaving him right on par for hole 3. We find ourselves now in hole 4 with the juniors. Chase Ryan's tee shot on the par 3 is sweet, placing him in sniffing distance from the hole. Now on to Dylan Gregg's second stroke, which ends up a couple feet from the hole. Ryan's second stroke is close, but not quite. Both boys would finish on par. Teeing off on the fifth hole, Gregg sends one right down the middle of the fairway on this par 5. Ryan aims for the green after his second shot was spent getting himself out of the rough. With perhaps a little help from the wind, his ball winds up in the rough just outside the green. Gregg's fourth stroke is chipped onto the green, giving him an opportunity to putt in for par. Ryan, from the rough, puts a bit too much on the fourth stroke, making his putt for par a tall order. Two putts later, Ryan finishes the hole with a double bogey and his day with a score of 49 after 9 holes. Gregg's putt is successful, and he finishes the day with a score of 39. Catching back up with our seniors on the 8th hole, Mills' shot off the tee lands in the rough, just narrowly missing the sand pit in front of the green. Mills's drive had too little power, and Lutz's might have had too much, as his shot lands past the hole in the rough as well. Mills's second shot drifts away from the hole, landing him in company with Lutz, whose next stroke puts him in position to make the putt for par. Mills pokes his next shot onto the green, but the roll is unkind, which leads to a missed putt that is painfully close to falling into the cup. He ends the hole with a double bogey, while Lutz's putt for par is similarly off target. And now onto the ultimate hole of the afternoon, as Mills takes a deep drive off the tee onto the fairway on the 9th hole. Meanwhile, after finding his first shot in the sand trap, Lutz spins his second stroke beautifully, using the roll to put himself in putting range. Mills soon joins him after his second stroke is chipped onto the green. Looking to end his day on par, Mills's putt swerves to the right of the hole. Similar story for Lutz, as his putt for birdie is also not meant to be. He finishes the hole on par and the day with a score of 39. Mills finishes the 9th hole with a putt for bogey, bringing his total on the day to 41. Ultimately, the Hatters would defeat Quakertown with a score of 204 to 210. The team was led by seniors Kenny Lutz and Shane Mills, with also a great performance by junior Dylan Gregg. This has been Dylan Stevens reporting for HHTV. See you next time.